Joining us on Schein Time, the outstanding governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, diehard fan of the Philadelphia sports teams, my guy, Josh Shapiro. Governor, welcome to Schein Time.
Man, it's good to be on with you. I'm excited to talk some hoops and anything else on your mind. This is cool. Thanks for having me.
First and foremost, you say this is cool. You know, some are saying that you're the most handsome guest we've ever had on the show because I hear it all the time. You're my doppelganger. You know, I'll get Jeff Goldblum or Andy Samberg or Zach Braff, but it's always you. I see it. Do you?
Dude.
How many times do people say to you, man, you look like Adam Schein?
Yeah, I walk into a room, they're like, yo, it's Schein Time. I want to just apologize publicly that you are compared to me and what I look like, man. I'm sorry you got to go through that. But no, it's good to see you. You look sharp.
Likewise, as always. I think it's pretty amazing when you take a look at what is going on in Philadelphia sports. You declared last Friday LeBron James Day when the Kings signed in Philly. Take us through this, Governor. What does it mean to the Sixers, to Philadelphia? And what was your reaction when the news broke? Did you think this would happen?
Yeah, so, I mean, let me answer both parts of this. I mean, I grew up a diehard Philly sports fan, right? 4 for 4. And when I was a little kid, you know, the Birds were playing well, the Eagles were playing well, the Phillies were winning, and the Sixers, this is back in like the Dr. J era, they were doing great. And then we go through what I refer to as the lean years, where, man, we didn't win a damn thing. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, Laura and I are blessed with 4 kids. All of a sudden our kids come along and all of our sports teams are winning again. So our kids did not live through those lean years. So in addition to being excited about how awesome our teams are right now, all 4 of them, I do have to say, when I think back as just a Philly sports fan, we have never had a signing like this since maybe you could argue Pete Rose coming to the Phillies, although that was like a really different time. And you know, whatever you think of Pete Rose, I don't think he was in the same stratosphere as LeBron James. So I think, number one, there's just an excitement, especially for those of us who went through those tough years, to see teams competing at the highest levels and being in a position to win a championship, Super Bowl, World Series every year. And I also think there's something special about the biggest superstar, arguably in the NBA, choosing us as the destination. That's a big deal. In terms of where I was in the middle of working, doing, you know, governor stuff, got a heads up about it. And I must say, my first reaction was I just wanted to talk to my kids. Because, like, for me and Laura, you know, our lives are so hectic, so busy. To have a few moments with all 4 of our kids in the same place, on the couch, watching a game, whether it's Sixers or whatever, that's like our special family time. And so for me, when I learned about LeBron James, I wanted to share that with family first.
And gave me the chills right there. That's what it's all about, and sharing that and sports and Philly sports with your kids, that's special. Now, take us through this. You reportedly...
Wait, but I want to know, you can ask me what you want, but I want to know, where were you, and as a Knicks fan, were you like, oh, shit, this isn't good for us? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I now think the Sixers are the biggest threat to the Knicks. I think that Philadelphia is loaded. And honestly, Governor, I go back to the Jaylen Brown deal. I still can't believe that. LeBron, I could wrap my brain around a little bit on the heels of Jaylen Brown. But the biggest move to me that was the holy cow wow for Philly was Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, no question. And like me, I'm sure you grew up hating the Celtics. So there's something special about fleecing the Celtics. But I think you're right. I would add one more thing. And one of the reasons why I thought you guys were so strong in making your run this year, aside from the fact that you had the entire Villanova championship team on your squad, but you guys were deep. You know, you could throw Deuce McBride in there, who'd get hot, put up a few threes. You had a couple backup big men there. I mean, you had a number of players who could come off the bench, 3-and-D guys, who would spell your starters and keep New York in the game, or even sometimes, you know, the plus-minus would be +2, +4, something like that. And so to me, that is also a story that's gone really unreported, I think in many ways, is the depth of our bench right now is really, really strong. And with a guy like Dean Wade, Simons, you know, KCP, who just got picked up recently. Like, we got some depth, and we also have guys who have been there before, who have a championship mentality, which is really going to help guys like Tyrese and Joel and others. So
100%.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and Brown's obviously won. LeBron is as great as it gets. Nick Nurse has won a championship, so
Yeah.
you're 100% right about that. Now, you reportedly ran into LeBron at dinner with the Clintons. I mean, the whole thing is awesome. Did you pitch him on Philly? What did you say?
Yeah, I sure did. I mean, I was at a restaurant actually in New York City, having dinner, as you said, and LeBron walked in. And I shot my shot. I mean, I just was very clear. Come to Philly. Not only can you help us win a chip, the fans will love you. And, you know, he's also someone who I think is really known for his philanthropic work. He really cares about the community around him. And I thought Philly would be an outstanding place for him to do his philanthropic work, along with, of course, what he does in Ohio, where he's from. Now, listen, I don't want to claim any ownership over this decision. He made the decision that was right for him and his family. But when I had the shot, I took it.
Good for you. I mean, got to shoot the shot in that situation.
Yeah.
Now, we uncovered some footage published by the Philadelphia Inquirer of your prowess on the courts, which I love. So take us through this, and if you have any advice on how to play in Philly for the King.
Look, man, I'm somewhat of an old school X's and O's guy, right? I mean, I still remember as a point guard, you lead the fast break, you stop at the foul line, you throw your bounce pass, and you get an easy layup. That's obviously not how the game is played right now. But I do think that I would run the ball through LeBron as much as I can on the point. I mean, I think he knows how to create. I saw that, you know, they were talking about this a little bit the other day. I think it was Nick Nurse who was talking about it. I think that eases, some of the pressure off of him to score. And quite frankly, these are five guys who all need the ball in their hands, our starting five. And he's going to distribute it in a way that's going to get Tyrese some more open looks, that's going to allow Joel to hit that mid-range jumper that, I mean, I don't think since Hakeem Olajuwon has a big man been able to do that as well, that kind of elbow jumper that he hits, takes some pressure off of him and his body. I think LeBron is going to help, VJ be able to slash even more. And so I would run him off the point as much as I can. Of course, LeBron knows when to take his shot. And, he knows that better than anybody else. He sort of doesn't need to be coached on that. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to take some pressure off the other guys and working the ball through him. That's what I would be looking at. I would also say that what he is going to do to the mentality of this team is going to make us tougher and going to make us play better defense. And listen, I mean, it's very, very hard for me to compliment the Knicks, but there was a toughness to the Knicks. And if you're not tough like that, it's going to be hard for you to make a deep run. I think the Sixers historically have not had that toughness. We will have that toughness now with Jaylen Brown and with LeBron James knowing how to win a championship and being tough players themselves.
Absolutely. And I love Tyrese Maxey, and he's going to take his game to a different level. I love our guy, Howie Roseman. I think he's arguably the best executive in sports. I interview him all the time. Want to get your take on the Eagles this year. Are you still a believer in Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I sure am. By the way, I called Howie the finest GM, not in football, but in all of sports.
Yeah.
By the way, Gansey's giving him a hell of a run at the Sixers right now with all these deals he's pulling off. But no, Howie has just done it repeatedly over so many years. He's calm and steady. He sees things that other people don't see. And he is constantly tinkering and putting a team on the field who are capable of winning a Super Bowl. Now, look, you got to stay healthy. Some breaks have to go your way. But he's doing his part. To the heart of your question, I do believe in Jalen Hurts. I think he's disrespected in the NFL. I think now that the wide receiver stuff is sorted out, you're going to see him be able to air it out even more and more effectively than he was able to last year. I don't think our offensive coordinator was very good last year. I think the moves that Howie's made on the coaching side and on the field, picking up Mekhi Lemon, was really good. I think you're going to see Devonta now be able to rise to a different level. He's just such a talented receiver. And remember, I think, and I should thank you for this, we have the finest running back in the NFL. And so
Yeah.
really, just from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to you and all the Giants fans for giving us Saquon Barkley. So, yeah, I think we can win another Super Bowl this year, and Howie's doing everything right to put us in that place.
And I agree with you on Devontae Smith and the way Howie, and the Howie Roseman Invitational, known as the NFL Draft, stole Mekhi Lemon. I want to tap into your fandom for a second.
By the way, I was in Pittsburgh for that because, of course, we brought the NFL Draft to Pittsburgh. You imagine sitting out there as a Birds fan when Howie did his thing? I mean, that was a little uncomfortable.
And did it to the Steelers. I mean, the whole thing was wild.
That's my point. That's my point. Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And it's vintage Howie. All right, give me, Governor, if you can, your favorite players. We could talk about growing up. We could talk about sharing with your kids. A Flyer, an Eagle, a Philadelphia Philly, a Sixer of all time, one from each team, and why?
I mean, you asked the question a little bit differently. Usually I get the Mount Rushmore question.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want favorite.
No, you asked my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's start with the Sixers. If you're going Mount Rushmore, you're going Dr. J or AI. Both are just incredible. But my favorite Sixer of all time, this is going to be a deep pull for you here, was Mo Cheeks.
Woo! Love that.
Incredible point guard. And the thing, and I always tried to learn from watching him, not suggesting I was anything like him on the court, but he knew when to accelerate. He knew when to slow down. He knew when he had to slash and take the layup or slash and dish. He knew how to get, again, really talented squad there. He knew how to get these guys the ball in a position where they could succeed. And he just struck me as a guy who was just the smartest basketball player there. I've never met Mo Cheeks. I don't know him personally, but for me growing up, he was a guy I always sort of looked to sort of model or emulate. I thought he was really something special.
I love the Philly fan. I truly do. And I interact with them, on radio, on Sirius XM all the time, and all the Instagram posts on X. They're smart. They're passionate. What's the biggest misnomer when it comes to the Philly sports fan?
You use the word passionate, and I actually think that's the right word. I think people think sometimes and I'm saying I'm putting myself in that category, we're obnoxious fans. And I think that that's disrespectful because I think what we have is just a passion for our team. We love them. And you know what? When they work hard, win or lose, we always have their back. It's when we feel like they're not putting 100% on the field, or we feel like, they're kind of maybe mailing it in, or they're not their best selves. That's when we get on them. And that is the Philly way. And so, some people see us booing or whatever, you think we're obnoxious. I think it's just passion. And what I think you maybe don't appreciate, I mean this with the utmost respect, being in New York or not being in Philly, is I don't think you can appreciate how the psychology of our city is changed when our teams are playing well.
Makes
you
sense.
Just experienced this with the Knicks. It was a pretty cool thing to watch. New York rally around them. That is sort of Philly all the time, up and down. And so there is something that being a Philly sports fan and these teams have on, the psyche of our city and really across Philly, across the whole area, that is just unique, and it is special, and it is something I love, and it's a passion I have inside me.
Now, before we let you go, I want you to put these future events in chronological order for me. And for the record, I'm only rooting for one. Sixers championship, Phillies championship, Flyers championship, Eagles championship. Josh Shapiro announces he's running for president. If you had to put that in chronological order, how would you do it?
Well, I'd put all those sporting championships way ahead of that. I mean, look, man, and you're not going to ask me to pick between my children on which championship is more important.
I didn't ask you. I knew not to do that.
I'm
You're
not
too
doing
smart
that.
of a fan. You're too good of a fan. No one does that to a fan, right?
Can't do it. No, it's pretty cool. I mean, look, the Phils are playing well now. Probably tinker a little bit around the trade deadline. Tons of hope for the Birds. They kind of, cleared up some of the issues last year. Obviously, expectations are sky high with the Sixers. And the Flyers, after kind of being down for a few years, man, they had a nice playoff run. A lot of young guys. These young guys are going to play together more, mature more, great ownership there. We got great ownership, frankly, across all the teams who are investing in winners. So I'm optimistic that all four of them could win a championship here over the next couple of years.
I don't think that's hyperbole in any way, shape, or form. Governor Shapiro, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. And you definitely are the most handsome guest we've ever had on Schein Time. I'd say best of luck to all your teams, but I wouldn't mean it, so we just appreciate the time.
I appreciate it, man. Cool to be on Schein Time and great to be with you. I'm a big fan of you and the show, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you, Governor.